I welcome you all for today's lecture. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about concept of an accident. Okay, and the second thing what we are going to discuss today is industrial accidents in India. We are going to review a survey which was done by Hindu groups, and based on that we are going to analyze that. Okay, so the newspaper Hindu they carried out some survey based on the number of accidents which happened across India. So we are going to take those survey and we are going to analyze that. Okay. And the third thing is we are going to think of what causes the accident. Okay. So we are going to detailedly see these three aspects. So let us begin with concept of an accident. So what is accident? Generally, accident is unintended. Okay. So nobody wants this to happen. Okay, it is an unplanned happening during the course of employment. Okay, while you are working, something may happen. That is called accident. So, what would happen if somebody met with accident? So, the result is it may be personal injury, or in some cases, it may damage the equipment. That means plant machinery, or in most of the cases, these two things may happen combinedly. Okay, so person will also get injured and the machine also get damaged. Okay, these things are the result of an accident. Okay, so generally it is defined as it is an unintended activity. Okay, so nobody wants this to happen. It is an unplanned. Okay, so nobody expect this to happen. Okay, so it is completely unplanned. Okay, this is the idea about the accident. So generally, apart from this personal injury and damage to the plant machinery, what happens is because of this accident, the production gets infected. Okay, the production gets affected for the industry, and also the completion of activity will also get delayed because of this accidents. So now you can see the picture. Okay, here a person has got injury in his fingers, okay, while he is working in a mechanical press. Okay, so you can just visually see what is the gravity of that injury. Okay, it just completely ruined few fingers. Okay, and second thing is you can see two people, they are working in a mechanical press. Okay, so these images and these details I have got from two survey which are conducted by the Wire. It is an English newspaper, and also an article which was published in Scrollin. Okay, so they mainly focused on uh, the accidents which happened in mechanical industries where people are working with this mechanical press. That what you see. Okay, so generally this kind of mechanical system will not have that kind of safety equipment to protect the workers from getting infected or something like that. Okay, from getting injured. So that is what the real case which prevail in India, because most of our mechanical components uh, are being manufactured from these kind of equipments. And if you want to install any uh, pneumatic system with lot of sensor so that they can detect if there is any obstacle, that means if your hand is in between that motion, then it will automatically stop. Okay, so that kind of machinery still is not used in India as far as automobile sector is concerned. So most of the industry depend on this kind of mechanical press because it is cheaper. Okay, it's going to cost you around 7 to 8 lakhs. So on the other hand, the one with most sophisticated sensor system, which has most powerful production system safety measurement, so it costs you more than 20 lakhs. So because of this cost effectiveness, many industries still they uh, rely on this kind of mechanical system. Okay, so The next thing what we are going to see is industrial accidents in India. Okay, so it is a survey taken by the Hindu group. It is a newspaper group. Okay, so between 2014 and 2017, and you can see that 6,300 lives have been taken. Okay, so more than 6,300 people were died because of industrial accidents in India. Okay, the survey was done between 2014 and 2017. The cases which has been taken into consideration are between 2014 and 2017. Okay, so here you can see that the kind of distribution. So the first thing is the blue color, which represent the most of the cases. So the accident happened mostly while operating machinery. Okay. The second thing is that one which is shown in green color. It's a general industrial accidents. Okay. So something like while lifting the weight. So like that during the other activity, this accident has happened. Okay. The third one is representing the accident which happened in a fire cracker industry, matchbox industry. So where during manufacturing, most of the accident would happen. So these things that we used to hear a lot because we are located nearer to Sivagasi. There, so many this matchbox industry and firecracker industries are there. So we happen to hear this kind of news often. Okay, so because of fire accident in matchbox industry, these how many people have died, so like that we used to hear that. Okay, and the next one is the major one is fire in mines. Okay, in mine industry, most of the time it may happen. Okay, and then next one is industrial boiler and cylinder explosion. Okay, so recently also we heard about that boiler explosion in NLC. Okay, so this is a frequent incident. Okay, the explosion of boiler and cylinder. Okay, and the next one is mining disaster. Okay, so some equipment may fail, there was this kind of incident. Okay, and the last one is fire in other types of factories. Okay, so initially we just addressed the fire which happen exclusively in cracker industry as well as matchbox industry, and the last one is the fire which happen in other industries. Okay, other factories. Okay, this is how uh, the Indian workers they have lost their lives due to the industrial accidents. Okay, so most of the cases happen during while they are working in the machinery. Okay, and next, so I just want to quote that source file also. I've taken this article which was published in Hindu. Okay, and we are going to see so what could be the distribution, because we have a different states as far as India is concerned. So most of the death happened Delhi and followed by Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, UP. Okay, this is what that state is, how it has been distributed around these states and where it happens mostly. So like that, so here you can just see that the Delhi is a place where the most accident happen. Okay, so it is a general industrial accidents, and here what you see here is it is a accidents which happen while workers using the machineries. Okay, so here also similar trend happens. The only thing is the Rajasthan came in and Haryana was out at this study. Okay, and so this source also I referred it from the Hindu article. And the next thing is we are going to consider about that boiler accident. So there, the Maharashtra reported most cases, followed by Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, and Haryana. And here comes our problem. Okay, so fire in cracker and matchbox factories, and here the most of the cases were reported in Rajasthan, and uh, the list goes on. That Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and here comes our state, that is Tamil Nadu. So let us see that finally. Okay, and in fire in other factories, there also Maharashtra, most of the cases were reported, and the cases reported in other states also you can see here. Okay, and here in Tamil Nadu, so you can see that 45 cases were reported, and 69 death happens because of fire which was broken out in cracker as well as matchbox industry. Okay, so as we are very close to this place, Sivagasi, so it is a very prone area where that accident often happens. So we can just think of that how we can contribute to that society. Okay, we as an engineering college students, so what level of input that we can share to them so that we can avoid these kind of death which are related to fire in cracker. Okay, as well as in Kovilpatti also we can see there are a lot of matchbox industries are there, so we can give some idea, some input or some innovation that could reduce this case to minimum. So that is what the thing that we can just think about. Okay, so these data also I have just collected it from the Hindu article, and we are just going to analyze now what are all the causes of accidents. Okay, so in the earlier we have seen uh, how accidents happen in India and how many cases are reported in each state based on different category. And now we are going to discuss about causes of accident. Okay, so the industrialization and expansion, modification of existing factories. So they are setting up of new industries have given rise to industrial hazards and accidents. Okay, so it's a common thing because the booming of this sector, that is industrialization, wherever you see most of the industries they are just coming up. Okay, there's even places near Nanganeri, near Tirunelveli. So we can see in southern part of that Tamil Nadu also we can just see this kind of booming of industrialization. Okay, so because of that, so ultimately it give rise to industrial hazards and accidents may happen often. Okay, so the first thing is technical causes. Okay, so because of technical issue that accident might have happened. Okay, so the first thing is defective and worn out machinery. Okay, the machinery itself developing some issues, because of that the accident may happen. Okay, sometimes because of worn out machinery. Okay, it has been used for a while, maybe in years, so it may not be in proper shape, proper condition, so because of that uh, the accident may happen. Okay, so the second thing is poor maintenance. Okay, in some places though the machinery is old, people will do often good maintenance, and because of that the accident is often averted. Okay, it may not happen. So poor maintenance is one of the issue. uh, because of that the accidents may happen often. Okay, so lack of precautions like safety guards. Okay, these things that we need to consider in most of the things. Okay, so what are all the precaution system that we can provide so that we can avoid accidents? So because of lack of precautions, accident may happen. Okay, so fencing of dangerous machines, and this poor fencing, because we have to guard some area so that the people who do not have any idea about that machine cannot access that particular machine. So like that we have to provide some fencing so that the accident may not happen. So because of this poor fencing also the accidents happen. Okay, wrong and bad layout. Okay, so it is very important because based on ergonomics everything has to be designed. Okay, so where you can just give more maximum strength, what is that direction, whether it is clockwise or counterclockwise. So like that every motion, every movement, and as far as layout is concerned, where the machinery has to be placed. Okay, it has to be properly placed in a very able way to a worker. Okay, so because of bad layout accident may happen. Okay, so crowded with machines. Okay, so if shop floor is crowded with machines, so most of the times it may happen because there must be a room for people to move around and to do some activity. So if it is overcrowded, then definitely there is a chance of happening of these accidents. Okay, and then raw materials and waste products. Okay, in some industry if you happen to visit this raw material and waste products be spilling over all over the shop floor. Okay, so there won't be any proper orderliness. Okay, they won't be kept at separate places. So accidents may happen because of poor management of raw material and waste products in a shop floor. Okay, so neglect in housekeeping and working conditions. Okay, so housekeeping means it is something like cleaning, the hygienic things. So everything comes into here. So if someone neglect in these aspects, then accident may happen. So working conditions also, it must be perfect. Okay, so the workers should get access to all those basic needs. Okay, so everything has to be provided by the employer so that the working condition may be improved. Okay, so because of neglection in this area, the accident may happen. Okay, so technical causes, it starts with defective and worn out machinery. It is a major thing. Okay, so we have to do proper maintenance work, or otherwise we need to replace that one. Otherwise, that accident may happen. And then the list goes on: poor maintenance, lack of precautions, fencing, wrong and bad layout, crowded places, raw material and waste products management, and finally poor housekeeping. Okay, so these are all the um, reasons because of that accident happened. So these we categorically say that the technical causes. Okay, so next one is personal causes. Okay, so where people would often do the mistake, that is improper requirement. If somebody uh, uh, is recruiting some employees for that job, means we need to understand that what kind of uh, expectation that we have as far as recruiting process is concerned. So if you do that process in a wrong manner, definitely you will not get the exact person or the right person for doing the job. So because of that, the accident may happen. Okay, so it is because of personal and social factor. Okay, so people will be more careless. Okay, so whatever the job they do, they won't be that kind of serious. Okay, the seriousness will not be there in their activity. Ignorance, inadequate skill, improper supervision, relationship with the supervisor and other colleagues. Somebody will be always find fault with someone, so they won't get along with the people, so their real relationship will not be in good shape. So because of that, the accident may happen. So the workplace should be in a perfect place to work. Okay, and there must be a conducive environment to carry out the work. Okay, so the relationship should be in better way. Okay, so that is expected. And some family problem, that also leads to accident. Okay, the personal causes means it's because of the person who got into the job. Because of him, the accident happened. So because of it, just purely based on him. Okay, so what causes it? Because he was wrongly recruited by the people, not knowing that what kind of person he is. Okay, so if he has this kind of quality, then suppose if you are going to be an HR person or someone who is in the position to recruit other your subordinates, then you have to be very careful. Okay, you need to be in a position to identify whether the person has these kind of qualities. If they have these kind of qualities, then you have to reject them. So it is very important. Okay, and the third thing is psychological causes. Okay, so it is very important that emotionally disturbed person cannot carry out the work as like that of a normal person. That is that everybody knows. Okay, and how he is psychologically. Okay, so these factors, that's some factors I've just I have listed out. That is fatigue, tiredness, overwork, monotony, boredom, lack of self confidence. So these are all the issues which are related to psychological. Okay, so we have to think of these aspects. Okay, if something present these kind of condition prevail, definitely it leads to accident. So fatigue, tiredness, overwork, monotony, boredom. So these works has to be addressed by the supervisor, employer, managers, so that we can just avoid accident because of the psychological causes. Okay, and it is very important. The next thing is, okay, so in many cases people will not follow the rules. Okay, So we have some safety measurement in place. Okay, if you before going to operate a machine, you need to think of this checkup. Okay, you need to check all those points, and then you need to start the machine. So many safety rules are there. Okay, you need to put on some safety gears. Okay, it may be helmet, it may be shoes, so anything that. Uh, so we have to follow the safety rules. So non-observance or non-following the safety rules leads to accident. It is very important thing that you need to know that. Okay, so it is a predominant cause of accident because we talked about a lot of causes earlier, but it is a predominant cause of accident, non-observance of industrial safety rules. So as far as a country like us, so we used to give low priority to this safety rules and all. Okay, so because you just see that majority of the industries in the small scale and unrecognized sector. Okay, so you see here 65 percentage of the workforce are in the small scale and unrecognized sector, so not in MNC. Okay, so 65 percentage of our workforce, they are working in small scale and unrecognized sector. Okay, they are not working in some multinational company or some big companies, so that they can have that kind of rules, some safety measures in place. Okay, and another thing is, it is important thing that these small scale industries and unrecognized sectors, they do not comply with safety requirements. Okay, they often, you know, they're not following these safety rules and regulations which has been laid out by the government. Okay, so because of that, the major accident happened. Okay, because when we think of Koilpatti, Sivagasi, they are all small scale industries and unrecognized sectors. Okay, people will do the things in their home itself. Okay, so there will not be any recognition for that industry, so they will not know some safety measures, they will not follow that. So because of that, most of the situations, the accident happen. Okay, so we have to be very careful about that. And then miscellaneous causes, so apart from what we discussed, so some other points also there, because of that accident may happen. Okay, so inability of the workers to grasp the implication of process. Okay, so the workers may not understand how to do the things. Okay, so they have to absorb, grasp all those ideas, then only they should be allowed to work with machines. Okay, so because without having that kind of knowledge, so they will do it in different way, so the machine will behave in differently, so they don't know what would happen. So if people didn't grasp that point, how to do the things, then you need to educate them, or otherwise it may lead to accident. Okay, so neglect of safety regulations by workers and their reluctance to use safety equipments. Okay, so this is a common thing, because even if we take our bike to ride, okay, we just often hesitate to wear helmet. Okay, so it just a little bit we are reluctant to the use of safety equipment, so it should not happen. Okay, so if they do that, it may lead to accident. Okay, then haste on the part of workers, particularly when they are on incentive payment schemes. Okay, in some cases, haste means doing it in a swift manner, that means speedy way of doing things. So if you can skip all those safety regulation, you can do lot of job. Okay, that means you can do contribute a lot, because you're just out of this process. So then because of that, you will get a lot of incentives, so you will not follow the safety regulations. Okay, so that thing should be avoided. So the employer should educate people to adhere to these safety measurements. They should not focus on that who is going to do job a lot. Okay, so they have to be very careful in safety aspects. Okay, and then this is the liberal attitude taken by ESI doctors in certification of accident injuries. Okay, so because if something happen in any industry, it may be small scale or large scale, so any industry, that ESI doctor has to give certification for accident injuries. Once it is recorded, then people will be aware of that what is happening in industry. Okay, so these many deaths has happened because of this accident, then people will definitely will be educated or get to know about the gravity of the problem. So the reporting is very important. This is the responsibility of the ESI doctors. So I'll just give you the explanation for what is ESI. It is the Employees State Insurance Corporation of India. Okay. So ESI, we generally call that as ESI. So if you just click on this link, you can just directly go into their website. There you can see what are the benefits that the Indian government is providing to the workers, so that they are caring much about their health. And if they get just injured their leg, hand, fingers or anything, then in most of the cases they are just being treated well in their hospitals. So it is a responsibility of the doctors for that certification of this accident, that what happened in, especially in industry. So if it is not recorded, in most of the cases, many cases were missing. Okay. So people will not understand, the others also could not understand. So because of this may happen. So like that, some report is very important because of this poor safety measures. So these many people have been got killed by this accident. So that kind of knowledge has to be shared, and it has to be widely spread over that workforce, so that they will be very careful while executing their job. As well as the employers also, they'll be also careful, because if they are practicing poor safety measurements in their industry, they may be had in serious problem. Okay, their company recognition will be cancelled, so something like that. So they'll be also got into trouble. So it is the responsibility of the government to address those issues, so that if something happen, so it is reported, then the people also get the benefit. Okay, if it is reported as an industrial accident, the person can get the compensation. Okay, so in the initial uh, stage that we have seen a picture. Okay, so here you can see that his finger is completely injured. Okay, so we don't know whether or not he can continue his job. Okay, whether he can provide his family hereafter. Okay, so what kind of job that he can do. So he has to be properly compensated. Okay, if the accident go unreported, nobody is going to think of that. Okay, so nobody is going to provide compensation for him. So it is the responsibility of that regulatory body to make this process to happen successfully. Okay, so every cases has to be reported, and people has to be compensated. Okay, so today I'm just in concluding. So we have seen what is a concept of an accident, and what is the scenario that how industrial accident happen in India. And we have seen the survey from the newspaper Hindu, and we also discussed about the causes of accident. So, okay, with this, I am just concluding today's lecture. Thank you.